Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Capitals hockey is being brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Your Washington area Chevy dealers. Find your local dealer on ChevyFirst.com. Dairy Queen, the home of fan food, not fast food. Mazda, conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Morgan Franklin Consulting. Big capabilities, local roots. MorganFranklin.com. And off we go this fall into winter and hopefully deep into spring with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Montreal Canadiens and Washington Capitals tonight inside of Verizon Center this Thursday night. One of a dozen games around the NHL slate. Promises to be a eventful night here as the Washington Capitals are exactly 40 years old tonight and welcoming a newcomer in Matt Niskanen to their blue line. Nate Schmidt, who burst onto the scene a season ago. Nicklas Backstrom, who has been here now as time flies for 8 seasons. Ready to go against Montreal this night. The net-minding matchup shapes up this way. Montreal was in action last night with Carey Price. His understudy, Dustin Tokarski, gets the call tonight against Braden Holtby, who's been downright ruthless against Montreal in his career, which now spans some 6 seasons as a pro. Tokarski and Holtby share the same birthday, in fact, in September. Each of them 25 years of age. Dustin Tokarski, former Tampa Bay property, thrust into the spotlight this evening here in Washington. Set to go, Capitals in the white jerseys tonight. Referees are Chris Lee and Rob Martell. Mark Shuchek, Steve Miller have the lines. Montreal victorious an evening ago, getting the game winner with 43 seconds left. Barry Trotz definitely scouting that one as his team went through the preseason at 5-3. Michel Therrien's Canadiens 4-2-1 in preseason play, 46 wins a season ago, third best in the Atlantic Division. Top of the screen, Washington Capitals lines. Long point drive from Karl Alzner that flutters wide of Tokarski. Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Fair to start things tonight. First half minute, opening period. Ovechkin leaves it back behind the cage on a give-and-go interchange. Fair was tied up by PK Subban. Roll back the length. Holtby's been encouraged to play the puck more this season, and his defenders are aware of that. Making sharp beelines for good outlets. As Ovechkin chases after Weaver, knocks him down. Brandon Prust goes the other way. Montreal in the visiting red tonight. Weaver on the hand-to-head for Prust. Hard-nosed customer. Back behind the play, Liam O'Brien got into it quickly as he threw a bump Weaver's way. Liam O'Brien making his NHL debut this evening off of a rambunctious preseason. Chris Brown fires a routine kick save for Tokarski, puts it off of the rink for the stoppage in play. Last year, the Caps fell short of expectations. Sweeping changes were made on and off the ice. With respect to off the ice, management and coaching specifically, a new cast of characters brought in. And with respect to those free agent signings, a whole lot of money spent out, especially along the blue line, to bring in Orpik and Niskanen to shore up that area of the rink. Justin Peters is the backup to Braden Holtby tonight. Brooks Orpik, an alternate captain wearing 44 in the white for Washington. P.A. Parenteau's lead for Pacioretty. Behind him, Max Pacioretty, outstanding goal scorer for Montreal, tallied last night. As Parenteau dribbles it right to the doorstep, there's Holtby. Joe Beninati upstairs, soon to be joined by Craig Lachlan, who is part of the pregame festivities. Al Koken is our ringside reporter tonight with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Season number 40 for these Caps in white. Ward on the dump down. Gilbert is there to stoke this to the corner. Smart looking breakout for Parenteau. At the tail end of his shift, he'll dump it in. Niskanen will turn into the 3rd minute of this opening period. Johansson on a bump set, looking for Brouwer. 65 in white. Very impressive 19-year-old rookie. Andre Burakovsky making his NHL debut. Johansson comes wing to wing off the boot of the defender. And the Canadians will respond by clearing in deep. Caps out shooting Montreal to this point with the game's only shot. The smooth hands of Burakovsky there on the clear. Delayed penalty call coming. Burakovsky fires right to the gut of Tokarski. The Caps go a man to the good. Lars Eller banished for tripping. Burakovsky, very smooth hands. Dumped on his way out of the zone. It leads to Washington's first man advantage of the night. A season ago, tied for first in the NHL, as you can tell at the bottom of the screen, with the Pittsburgh Penguins at 23.4. These Habs, the Canadians in red, 4th best on the circuit last year, 85.1%. Backstrom led the league in power play point production a season ago. He sends in Johansson. On the interchange, Backstrom works the half board. Joel Ward is camped out in the deep slot. They've rotated Ovechkin down low. Backstrom waits. Give and go with Ward and then Johansson. Weaver down on a knee to protect. One touch inside for Ward, swatted away. Rebound loose. Tokarski makes the stop. And Montreal sends it all the way down with 1:14 to go in the man advantage.
Perfect time to arrive, right, Joe B?
Yeah, right on the money. About 3.5 minutes in, so we'll dock you some pay. That's nice.
I came for the power play. I love it.
Well, hopefully you came to turn the red light on. Washington man advantage halfway through. Kuznetsov wields. Finds Carlson for a drive, and Tokarski eats that up.
Yeah, Montreal really feeding off that center area where they were burnt several times by the Caps last season. Really crowding Brouwer in front, taking away that option for Therrien, who got that win last night against the Toronto Maple Leafs late 6th season with the Montreal Canadiens.
Pretty wild game last night. The winner with 43 seconds left from Tomas Plekanec, his 2nd of the night. And that came after Montreal allowed the tying goal with 2:19 to go in the frame.
Couple of weird bounces at the end, right? Montreal
Wild.
got the last one.
Toronto had won 4 straight season openers against Montreal. That streak coming to an end last night. Niskanen in a point position. Kuznetsov. Burakovsky. Brouwer is now the inside man.
And they're really collapsing down on him, not only with the top guy, but the bottom guy.
Good pad save from Tokarski on Niskanen, then fair pumped it wide. As the Canadians will clear, Travis Moen, who was not in the lineup last night, he was a healthy scratch. Dale Weiss comes out of Michel Therrien's lineup for Moen, the rugged veteran winger.
And we see on the power play to start this game, Trotz was talking about, limiting Alex Ovechkin. And notice he usually stayed out 2 minutes last season. Right off the get-go, he was about 1:10, and then he quickly went to the 2nd unit without Alex on the ice.
Capitals mustering 3 shots on that power play. Do not click. They're out shooting Montreal to this point in the contest 5-zip, as we are just about 5 minutes old here at Verizon. Andrei Markov on for Desharnais, twisted ahead to Parenteau. He ran right into the forearm of John Carlson.
And that's what we're going to see a lot of this year, Joe. The Capitals really want to so-called gap up, get the lines, and stop their thrust right in the neutral zone. Real good step up by Carlson.
Locker, it's an anniversary night for Washington, and so too for Al Koken, beginning his 30th year as part of our broadcast team.
Joe, appreciate that very much. Thanks to you and Locker. And we encourage everybody once again to join us in the conversation throughout this game on Twitter. We ask you, what do you like most about the Caps lineup this season? Get your responses in to hashtag Capitals Talk. We'll hear from you throughout the game.
Hashtag Capitals Talk on the lineup that breaks camp. The guys were thrilled to see preseason training camp go by the wayside. They got a lot of work done. They really did. And they were impressed with the pace of the training camp and how much structure there was and how much was demanded of them by Barry Trotz and this coaching staff. Gilbert at center on a regroup. The dump down only as far as John Carlson. Handed ahead quickly to Troy Brouwer. Burakovsky glides into the zone on the drop for Johansson and right to the midsection of Tokarski. The Caps are wearing out that CH logo.
Yeah, right, drilled it into him, but that also means that Tokarski's playing very solid in the cage, taking away the angles. Here's the speed up the ice. Burakovsky, nice little drop pass, pushing back the D. That opens up Marcus, and they want Marcus to think shoot rather than pass this season. They need more goals from him. Good start right there, ripping the puck rather than looking around to make a pass. You see that first column, 8 goals. He's not going to cut it. He's got too much speed, too much skill. He's got to be in double digits.
8 goals and only 2 of them at even strength. That was Lane Lambert whispering into the ear of Marcus at the bench. As we are ready to cross the 6-minute mark of the opening period. Gallagher floats it into the corner. Galchenyuk is there, arm in arm with Niskanen. Through center, Ovechkin on a nice send-in for Fair. Fair tried to make one more. That was guided away by the back-checking Plekanec. Ovechkin running after Subban. Plekanec on guard again at the front of the cage. And Montreal will counterattack. PK Subban, 76 in red, was the Norris Trophy winner in 2013. A season ago, that award won by Duncan Keith in Chicago. Subban lost it to the slot. Score! Bang, bang. It didn't take long for Andrei Burakovsky.
One of the great stories this preseason was the play of that 19-year-old. Big numbers out of the OHL. Bad turnover there by Subban, trying to make something out of nothing instead of being safe. He is sorry. Picked off by Brouwer's shaft of his stick. He finds Burakovsky and he rips it. That is a goal scorer's goal. I love the way he opened up. I love the way he got in the soft spot and he buried it. And he high-fives the glass and the fans here at Verizon Center. Love it.
That was almost a mirror image of the way Ovechkin scored at the other end of the rink in his first ever game against Columbus. Burakovsky has shown a splendid shot. He wasted no time smacking home that relay from Troy Brouwer. 6:43 the time of the tower. Andrei Burakovsky, the 19-year-old, in front of friends and family in this his NHL debut, has one on the board.
His papa and mom are going to be happy, aren't they, the way he ripped that?
Pacioretty looking to respond. Liam O'Brien was there. His mom, dad, grandparents, and family are also in attendance tonight. As we get a whistle here and an icing call, and Verizon Center is roaring. Andrei Burakovsky, Locker, joining some pretty impressive names of guys who struck for their first on this very date.
The great Dale Hawerchuk back in '81 with the Jets versus the Rangers. Lucky Luke Robitaille raising the banner yesterday or last night. Some real talented players, and Burakovsky's coming down right away, Joe B, and getting one early. That should give the kids some confidence.
The O'Brien snapshot testing the blocker of Tokarski. Washington's on top by 1. Montreal has yet to put a shot on goal against Braden Holtby. As Pacioretty moves in, it's offside against the Canadiens. Oh, to be young again, to be 19 years old and super talented. Andrei Burakovsky giving the Caps the advantage with a glass jump. Capitals fans know who's number 1. on this Thursday night. It's 1-0, in fact, for Washington. And Craig, Star Trek's presented by Toyota. Two men who gladly warm up to the spotlight.
Yeah, for the Montreal Canadiens, PK Subban, although he did cough up the puck in the Caps' first goal, lots of points from the back end, one of the leadership groups for the Montreal Canadiens. And there you see Alex Ovechkin, 36 points, 20 goals in 33 games. They'll be locking horns all night long here at Verizon Center.
Ovechkin 6 goals in his last 5 games straight up against Montreal. Tonight, Andre Burakovsky's on the board before the 7-minute mark to give Washington the advantage. Schmidt teaming up with Jack Hillonen back. The Capitals taking no chances, giving Mike Green an additional night off. He's dealing with an upper body injury. Mike, talking to media earlier today, says he wants to go on Saturday in Boston. Barry Trotz, realizing that this is a marathon, not necessarily a sprint over the next 6.5 months, says let's make sure you're ready. Mike wants to be able to push back as strong as he gets pushed around the rink.
Yeah, and plus they got quite a bit of depth around, don't they, Joe? I mean, you got Schmitty that goes right in there, a very skilled skater. You got Erskine. You got guys that are still available, so they got great depth on the blue line. Why not give him a day or two to even get to 150%?
Galchenyuk to Gallagher. Plekanec next in line. This line an evening ago, as that game with Toronto went along, got better and better and better.
Well, they want a lot from the two wingers, you know, Galchenyuk and Gallagher. They expect more out of them. They're young players that they want them to take the next step. And obviously, when you have Plekanec in the middle, that's going to be a very creative line.
Nicklas Backstrom exiting the zone for Washington just about halfway through this opening period. On the overlap, there's Ovechkin. One more to Fair. Fires. Tokarski the save. Alzner up top, Niskanen drive, and that's blocker padded aside by Tokarski. Ovechkin stopping and starting out of the corner, loses Gallagher there. Through the seam. The drive coming from Alzner, stop, rebound. Ovechkin turned away by Tokarski. It's a shooting gallery for the Caps. They have the first 11 shots on goal of the night.
And I'm not a little bit surprised, even though there hasn't been a whistle, that Therrien's not trying to get a timeout if that happens, because his team is under siege here in the first.
Desharnais' wrister did not get through. Back comes Brooks Light, angling into the zone, off the toe of his blade and wide of the cage. Chimera hustles it down. Veteran trio here. Chimera, Like, and Ward. Chimera buzzsaw into the corner. Desharnais will reverse. On the clear ahead, ushered along to Parenteau. Straightened up by Brooks Orpik, who hits like a sledgehammer. Desharnais towards the cage, swatted aside. Desharnais on the reload, sidestepping a hit. The puck bounces free, and Orpik will take it away.
You can see in the first, the Capitals are playing a hard brand of hockey. Finishing checks, not going out of their way to drill guys, but stepping up and making strong plays and being physical against the Montreal Canadiens.
Whistle here and a penalty call coming, a commotion around the Montreal bench. We'll detail the penalty for you in just a few moments with the Caps on top. You know it's a trip.
Capitals lead Montreal 1-0. Todd Reardon, you haven't given up a shot on goal yet. What's pleased you most about your defensive posture?
Yeah, I like how our forwards have done a good job tracking back, and I think our D have played their gaps real well so far.
All right, we appreciate Todd Reardon, Illegal Seafood's Bite of the Night, and Joe, another Capitals power play.
Not bad. Brooks Orpik was upset with a trip delivered to him by his U.S. Olympic teammate Max Pacioretty. It gives Washington its second power play. Alex Ovechkin hiding here, led the league in power play goals a season ago. Backstrom, these power play stats packaged by the UPS store. Washington in white, a 1-0 advantage, staked to that lead by Burakovsky, and Locker. Have a peek at this leg trip.
Yeah, you'll see Pacioretty come into Orpik after he lays a hit. Pacioretty on a change. Notice he stretches out his right leg, sort of a slew foot heading to the bench. He gets detected by the referees here tonight. Orpik okay. Pacioretty still in the box.
Washington a man up for another 1 minute and 41 seconds and out shooting Montreal badly in this opening period. Carlson feeds for Johansson. Smooth strides wide there on Yemelin, who put an arm bar on him. Plekanec sends it all the way to the gloved hand of Braden Holtby, who touches the puck for the pretty much first time in front of the cage, 11 and a half minutes into the game. Backstrom deals. Johansson deflects for Brouwer. Brouwer had a career best goal scoring year last year, and it included a dozen on the power play. Johansson to Backstrom. Carlson. Ovechkin on a slap pass. Carlson lets this one go. It's fluttering wide. Backstrom feeds quickly to Johansson. Scanning the defense. Backstrom will probe inside. Brouwer deflected out of play by Plekanec. Here he is, the Minister of Madness and Misinformation. It's Craig's voice on value.
No, this is good
Presented
information.
by Morgan Franklin Consulting. Just
and
kidding.
look what they're doing right now.
Just
12
kidding.
shots. They're pushing the pace early. And that's exactly the case here against Montreal, who played last night. Catch them a little flat-footed. They've been putting it on the goaltender and really hemming them in the zone. It's all about pace and speed under Trotz.
We thank Morgan Franklin, all of our generous sponsors, for their cooperation once again this season, 2014-15. Lifting off tonight with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Burakovsky has the lone goal in this first period. Punished against the boards by Prust. Fair feeds for Niskanen and takes the return. Second wave of the man advantage. 18 seconds left in the minor. Kuznetsov on the delay. One touch off the heel of Burakovsky. Then he jams Ward with that pass as the Canadians clear.
I think they know that pass is going there, and both in Brouwer and in Joel Ward, they're taking that away, which may open up the points more as this game goes along for the Capitals power play units.
Beautiful entry here. Kuznetsov was marked by Gilbert. Evgeny Kuznetsov at stick's length with Desharnais. Carlson scuttles this one into the corner. Brown and Pacioretty, a pair of 67s on the hunt for the puck. 6:50 to go in the opening period. Carlson opens up. That's off the shoulder of Tokarski, and it bounds out of play. 1-0 for Washington. Mr. Tokarski's been busy. The 2015 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic played January 1, 2015 at Nationals Park. For more information on how you can guarantee access to Winter Classic tickets, call 202-266-CAPS or visit WashingtonCaps.com.
Yeah, it's been a quiet end zone for Braden Holtby. Montreal has had no luck entering against Trotz's team. Trotz has been very good with his team between the blue lines, and that was an area of concern along with their D zone. Anytime the Habs have got it in here in the first, quickly out of the zone, and the Caps are very good at transition.
40 years ago this night in New York City, Washington played its first NHL game, lost to the New York Rangers. Jim Haraychuk scored the Caps' first ever goal in franchise history on this night when Andre Burakovsky has his first NHL marker. Tremendous players recognized in the rafters here at Verizon.
Yeah, now Koken will look back over the years, talking to Ron Weber, Joby, in between periods.
Longtime Washington Capitals radio voice.
Probably still has his books with all the players, all the stats. He was so meticulous.
Johansson low bridging Tokarski there. As this is put back onto the Washington side, all the way down for an icing call. It has been a dominating first period for the Washington Capitals.
And Burakovsky has got a goal, his first in the National Hockey League. Big numbers last year in the OHL. He had a great year. There you look at his numbers with the Erie Otters, plus 46, 23rd overall pick in 2013. A lot of people really hadn't had him penciled into the Caps lineup, but after a wonderful training camp, Trotz says, you know what, this kid can play. And he's really adapting well to center. You know, he's a winger by trade. He's had to learn the center craft, and he's done a great job watching Backstrom and guys like that through training camp to become the player he is.
Well, he started to make that impression on the coaches in development camp.
Yeah.
They thought he'd be ready for that switch, and all he has done is improve day after day and earned a spot in the opening night lineup. Ward one-hands it to the corner. Eller is there to greet him. 5-on-5 play, 5:40 to go in the opening period, and 1-0 for DC. Sekac out of the zone. Yuri Sekac on for Gilbert. 3 Caps there to swarm him. Brooks Laich through center. Plekanec is there. They'll regroup. Subban gets up into the rush. PK snakes away from the pressure of Eric Fehr. Ymelin on the dump down. Niskanen waiting. And this was a delayed offside against Montreal. Chance for us to step away with 5:10 remaining in the opening period. Caps have the advantage on Comcast Sportsnet. Washington has a 1-0 advantage over Montreal. Capitals insider Chuck Gormley had a conversation with one very proud papa.
Well, I'll tell you, the two happiest people in the building right now have to be Robert Burakovsky and his wife Pernilla. They came in from Sweden yesterday, and I talked to him about what it's like to be a player and teach your son how to play the game. Robert Burakovsky had over 300 goals in his 19-year career, but he said the most important lesson he's told his son was that he needs to be a good teammate. Help out the kids who are not as good as him as a player. And Andre told me it's the best lesson he learned. And now he's getting some of the same advice from guys like Nick Backstrom, Marcus Johansson, and Alex Ovechkin. An incredible story. This guy scoring on his first NHL game. I'll tell you, he's having quite a night already.
Very much so. Be sure to read Chuck at csnwashington.com all throughout the season. Matt Niskanen from point position looking for the deflection of Ovechkin. It went wide of the goal. Andre Burakovsky was born in Austria while his dad Robert was playing there professionally. He was raised in Sweden. Ymelin feeds for Gallagher. Good pressure from Alzner.
And that's something that's new. The pinching defenseman down the wall. Great job by Alzner, not backing up, stepping in. And the Capitals just all over the Montreal Canadiens. They've had no luck whatsoever getting out of the zone. And the Caps should have another power play here, their third of the period, but it's all because of pressure D. Subban goes to the box. And there it is. It's a hooking call, but it all starts by a great play by Alzner. He keeps the puck in deep. There's the shot on OV getting in first. A little bit of a hack, but then you'll see the pitchfork right there on OV's left arm. And down he goes. Subban goes to the box. Ill-advised for another Capitals power play.
An evening ago, Montreal took almost 5 minutes to have their first shot on goal of the game against Toronto. This evening, 15.5 plus. They're being outshot 13-zip. These power play stats are packaged by the UPS store. Third try for Washington. A season ago against Montreal, they were 1 for 14 in 3 games of work. Burakovsky had that one explode off of his stick. Montreal will send Washington packing. Both teams making changes to their special teams units. John Carlson, 24 years of age. Through center for Backstrom. On the wing to Johansson. The whistle here on the entry.
Yeah, you can't even hear the whistle all the way up here. Now Carlson jockeying down low with Plekanec. Some pushing and shoving. Looks like Travis Moen in there. He's always a customer that likes to change the flow of a hockey game, and that's what he's trying to do here. The referee's already signaled one guy to head to the box. We'll see who it is. But the Capitals, good pressure all over the ice against the Habs here in the first period.
It was interesting to listen to Barry Trotz earlier today, Locker, with Travis Moen on the ice. He was talking about Liam O'Brien, and he was making the comparisons to how O'Brien has performed to how Moen has for so long for different squads throughout the NHL.
Yeah, they're very similar when you look at them. Obviously one up and coming in O'Brien, and Moen's been around a long time. Always been a diligent worker, a grinder, a grit guy. A lot of sandpaper to his game, along with being an excellent penalty killer also.
Penalty call against Washington met with dismay in the stands, as Barry Trotz's team will be shorthanded in 122. We'll go 4-on-4 here for the next 82 seconds. Michel Therrien checking the scoreboard to review my math. Just tuning in with us, Andre Burakovsky from Troy Brouwer at 6:43. Washington is on top by 1. Caps control the draw. Brooks Orphan, one of those newcomers brought in through free agency, ahead for Laich. On the drop to Carlson, weaving through the traffic. Finds Ward. Beautiful toe drag move to the front, and Tokarski was waiting for light.
That's what happens when you have a great year. See what Ward did in the past. He would have just shot the puck. He's got that confidence coming off a tremendous year last year. Zigs and zags and creates a great play on a curl and drag.
Still 4-on-4 are we for another 48 seconds. Light leans into a blast. No troubles for Tokarski. Beaulieu, 28 in the red. Slick skater back through center. Plekanec on the entry. Spun Galchenyuk around with that pass. Ovechkin busting it down the wing. Alex Ovechkin knifing to the goal. Run to the end boards by Plekanec. Caps have it in possession with Backstrom. Spinning away from Beaulieu. Feeds it up top, kept alive by Alzner. Washington will be shorthanded in 14 seconds as the puck is off of the rink. One nothing for Washington. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. It's two men with strong attendance marks.
Hey, take a look at Alzner and Carlson. Played every game in each of the last 4 seasons. A small group has done that. They include Matt Carl and Keith Yandel, the only other D-men to match that mark. Very versatile, play in every situation, and durability is amazing for the amount of ice time both Carlson and Alzner logged here in Washington.
Matt Carl with Tampa Bay, Keith Yandel with Arizona. 4-on-4 hockey for another 13 seconds. The Canadians will then get Subban back to the ice and work on an abbreviated power play. The spillover time left on Eric Fehr's minor. Orpik gets cleaned out there on the run. Point position, Markov. Snapshot stick save for Holtby. As you see Montreal's power play numbers a season ago. Canadians have their first shot on goal. Bourque through the seam. Markov unloads a stick save for Holtby. Zekat. Keep it moving on the outside. Back to Gilbert. Waits for the screen to develop. That was muffled by Brouwer. Troy Brouwer finds the loose puck and open space to clear.
Smart play by Troy there. He was tired at the end of that 4-on-4 shift. Good job making sure he got the net, used it for coverage, and rifled it all the way down.
Final 1:45 of the opening period. Montreal being outshot 14-2, outscored 1-0.
Yeah, you'd like that score to be a little higher with the chances they've had against their goalie.
The Subban bid was blocked. Darting back the other way, Fehr. Schmidt stays onside, looks for the deflection try, and Tokarski was there at the end of the line. Schmidt's pass, he forced it through the seam. Gallagher on the intercept.
Yeah, good coverage there. When Schmidt jumped up, the Capitals had support, and that was the smart guy, Joel Ward. He immediately saw that Schmidt was joining the rush, and he backed up and covered for him.
Thompson Creek window of opportunity. The newcomers on this night, Liam O'Brien and Andre Burakovsky.
Love Liam O'Brien, the way he played. That's exactly how he played all preseason. Roughing it up with Weaver, giving him a shot at the end. Burakovsky, you see his slick stick work. Looks like a Nick Backstrom the way he handles the puck. And then a pound of the puck in our Thompson Creek window of opportunity has given the Caps a 1-0 lead.
21-year-old Nathan Beaulieu on the back pedal for Montreal. Final minute of the opening period. Washington on top by 1 as we are closing in on Lattice's intermission live. Holtby along the glass. Burakovsky waiting, posted up there with Pacioretty. Two teams are at even in full strength, and we hear the whistle. The face-off to stay in the Washington D zone.
Well, you couldn't script it any better for the Caps here in this first period. Have really come out hungry and skating and pacing this play. Burakovsky, slick moves, excellent skater, light on his feet. He's going to be a dangler. He's going to be a gunslinger when he gets more confidence, much in the mold of this guy.
He's going to be spending time with Nicklas Backstrom. Going to be living with Nicklas Backstrom is what it sounds like.
That's great.
15-2 in terms of shots.
Well, he didn't get his license. He has to live with somebody.
Canadians in the offensive zone. Backstrom doing the yeoman work defensively. Desharnais turns a corner, flushed out by Carlson. 33 seconds with which to work in the opening period. That pass back to point position gets away from Beaulieu.
You're not billeting this year?
No, it's all Nick. Nick's the
I
landlord.
thought you might be billeting this season.
That's fine. If Liam wants to come and live in the Northern Virginia area, he's welcome.
That'd be protection for you.
Yes. Niskanen, final 10 ticks of the period. Just ahead of Alex Ovechkin. 6 seconds to go. Beaulieu on the accelerator. Desharnais behind Parenteau as this first period comes to its conclusion. In dominating fashion, the Caps have a 1-0 lead. Burakovsky, his first ever in the NHL at 6:43 from Troy Brouwer. And the locals here at Verizon Center have to be pleased with a 15-2 shots on goal disparity. Lattice Intermission Live is coming up. Al Koken will chat with the longtime radio voice of the Washington Capitals. That's Ron Weber on this 40th anniversary night. Highlights and stats are coming your way. Locker will be at the telestrator. From the opening draw, literally and figuratively, and out of the red, onto the red light, here's Rob Carlin at the studio. Out on time for the start of the second period. Washington has a 1-0 advantage. Thompson Creek gives us this window of opportunity to look past and present.
Man, look at OV back in 05 on our window of opportunity. There's a nice looking shot. And this one tonight by Burakovsky, very similar in nature. Alex Ovechkin on opening night. Pretty good numbers overall, Joe B. 10 points in 9 opening night games. Great to see Burakovsky on the board for the nice young rookie.
Andre Burakovsky, the 19th teenager to start a season with the Capitals. Number 19 takes the draw here against Tomas Plekanec. We're back underway in period 2. It's the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin upstairs. Al Koken is your ringside reporter as we shout out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew here and in our CSN studios for all their efforts day and night. Washington in the first of 3 meetings with Montreal. This is the Canadiens' only visit to this building all season long, in fact. 1-0 for DC off the hop.
And they wanted to get going right off the get-go for Tokarski and Ovechkin. 2 different locker rooms between periods, I am sure. I'm sure Montreal and their coaching staff talking about moving their feet. I think for the Caps on their side, probably very elated the way they played that first period. I'm sure a few little tweaks here and there, but they had a heck of a first 20 minutes here in Washington.
John Carlson at point position, right to Dustin Tokarski, who's giving Carey Price the night off. This is a Montreal team, Locker, that starts 4 games in 6 nights, all on the road to open the campaign.
Yeah, they got a tough road ahead, a couple more nights of hockey, but it gets them right back into it, and then they return home for 4 straight home games. The Capitals 10 of the first 16 right here at Verizon Center.
Carlson again with a drive. Tokarski eats that up. Montreal's home opener doesn't come till October 16th. They'll square off with Boston, a team they eliminated in the second round of the playoffs last year.
And for Michel Therrien, you know, you look at Tokarski, he sort of beat out, you'd have to say, Peter Budaj. And that's why he was dealt. You know, he outplayed him, and Tokarski was pretty darn good after Carey Price went down in the playoffs in Game 1. He came in and stole some games for the Habs.
When it's all said and done, there will be 12 games in the books this Thursday night around the NHL, several of which involve Metropolitan Division teams. Washington placed 5th in the Metropolitan Division a season ago. On the clear ahead, Manny Malhotra out there with Travis Moen and Brandon Prust, and the gloves come off. It's Prust and O'Brien.
O'Brien wasting absolutely no time to get going with one of their tougher guys in Brandon Prust.
Oh, he's super tough. Takes the helmet from the rookie and throws a right cross. O'Brien, short jabs with the left.
I think O'Brien was upset with the way they dealt with their defenseman, Jack Hillen, going back. He did not like the way Prust finished his check on him, and that's why he went right after him. Capitals may be shorthanded on this one. We'll have to see how they sort it out. But it all happened after a heavy hit on Jack Hillen.
NHL career fights. Brandon Prust, 104. Liam O'Brien, number 1.
And there's the shot right there. Both Moen and Prust gets a piece of him. Watch Prust get going. Here's O'Brien. He immediately sees it and says, I'm going to go after you, my friend. And that's what he did in the preseason. And that enamored him with the coaching staff. And they said, you know what, Liam, you've had an excellent training camp, excellent development camp, and you're going to get a new 3-year deal.
Said he would have about 12 friends and family in attendance tonight, including his grandparents who drove down from Halifax.
That's a hike.
It sure is.
That's probably 23 hours, Joe B.
I'm glad you did the math on
I
the
did.
mileage, too. Plekanec and Ovechkin lending an ear to the explanation. Brandon Prust is one tough hombre.
Yeah, you wouldn't say he's like a heavyweight, Joe. Like he's a light heavyweight who will fight anybody.
You remember Matt Hendricks?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day when Matt was a Cap, he said, boy, I grabbed onto Brandon Prust and I probably shouldn't have. He's a little too heavy for me. It's a 1-0 advantage for Washington. Andre Burakovsky's on the board. We have McDonald's trivia for you, folks. Celebrating the 40th anniversary tonight. Look at those faces on screen. Who played the most games for the Capitals locker in the team's first 2 decades? So we're trying to go from 1974 through 94-95. So 2 decades. Who would have played the most games in those first 2? Checking the scoreboard here. Additional penalty time against Liam O'Brien. So Montreal works with a power play. Andrei Markov at one point, PK Subban the other. Markov deals for Subban. Rister's on the way, deflected and answered by Braden Holtby.
Yeah, good stop there by Holtz. His power play for Montreal dipped a little bit last year to under 18%, down from over 20% the year before. They're hoping Markov and a guy like Subban can quarterback their power play for more success. Pretty good penalty kill, keeping everything to the outside.
Power play stats are packaged by the UPS store. O'Brien's additional minor was for charging, giving Montreal the advantage in this, the 2nd minute of the 2nd period. A bullet from Subban that goes wide. PK tallied last night a 3rd period goal against Jonathan Bernier in the Maple Leafs. Did most of his damage, Subban, last year on the road. Had 10 tallies total, 8 of them away from Belson. Pacioretty towards the Cajun wide. Golfed out of there by Brouwer. Nicely done to get his penalty killers a breather. Markov will swing. 35-year-old Russian on the entry for Pacioretty. Rolled around the boards to Desharnais. David Desharnais flanked by Chimera. Gives to Pacioretty. Gallagher is the inside man. That snapshot's deflected. Markov will drag it off the boards as you look down the dasher. Subban giving ground. Floats it to Pacioretty. PK Subban this way to Markov. Subban steps and fires. Jabbed aside by Holtby. Niskanen tapped it on. Alsner plays it ahead, and Chimera will exit the zone with Joel Ward. Ward had 2 shorthanded goals last season. Throwing snow to the corner boards there. Caps will be at even strength in 25 seconds. Canadian set sail. Parenteau keeps it alive at the point. Pressure comes from Brouwer, and Brooks Orpik manages to get it back to center. Laich will continue the thrust. Brooks Laich turning wide. Gilbert arms him all the way to the boards with the help of Beaulieu.
Capitals penalty killers fresh. 3 different units have already been put on the ice by Barry Trotz and company.
3 shots during the man advantage for Montreal. They remain behind Washington by 1 and being outshot 17-5. Ooh, Plekanec is throttled by Brooks Orpik. Welcome to Washington, 44 in white.
We've seen a lot of that when he was with the other team.
Darn right. Snapshot here. Holtby on a good angle to beat Galchenyuk. And then a slashing penalty here. Burakovsky had the hockey stick chopped right out of his hand.
Well, Brooks Orpik likes to lay it down and hit guys. And he's going to lay down the body, the stick, anything. That's the way he plays. And look at this hit. That is a textbook shoulder check, moving backwards against Plekanec. It's all about taking away space. It's all about finishing and movement. Brooks Orpik led in hits last year with 221 on his ledger. He's a hammer, and that's the way he needs to play.
Parenteau to the penalty box. Brouwer, Backstrom, Johansson, Ovechkin, Karlsson. These power play stats are packaged by the UBS store. Marcus Johansson on the feed. He'll interchange places with Backstrom on the delay. Nicholas fires. That's rejected by Weaver. Veteran blue liner in the shooting channel. Backstrom wins the board battle. Trundles it along those dashers. Good recovery, though, by Malhotra, and he'll send it down.
Yeah, they need a lot of block shots from a guy like Weaver. Remember, a thorn in the side of the Caps has always been Josh Georges, who moved on to Buffalo in a deal.
PK Subban's price tag, and then the emergence of a guy like Jared Tenorti and Nathan Beaulieu prompting Montreal to see Georges go to another city.
We'll have to see Jared Tenorti play tonight, a local boy from Annapolis, Maryland. His dad still lives here, comes to just about every Caps game.
Former Cap defender Mark Tenorti. Washington still in the power play, 55 more seconds. Jared Tenorti was a healthy scratch tonight. Dale Weiss and Michael Bourneval joining him on the sideline. As we hear a whistle, there's another penalty call coming. Referee Rob Martell with this assessment.
I think it could be coincidentals here. We'll see how they hand it out here. Definitely one going for both sides. Could be OV for the Caps.
Washington penalty number 8, minor penalty for slashing.
Just Ovechkin.
Oh. One referee pointed to both lines. There's the shot right there by Brouwer, who knocks in Plekanec, and then OV gets up, and there's that little slash. Plekanec sells it.
Wow.
So we have 4-on-4 hockey here.
Oh my goodness, that wasn't much. That wasn't much. We'll stay 4-on-4, as Locker says, for 50 seconds. And then another abbreviated power play for the guys in the red jerseys. Burakovsky at 6:43 of the first from Brouwer. It's 1-0 for Washington. And in terms of even strength shots in this game, you can see the disparity. Burakovsky teaming up with Fair. Back to point position for Alzner. Touch inside. Fair fires. Just put that one off the outside of the frame.
Nice hands by Eric moving laterally. Joe really made the goaltending Tokarski move across and had him on that far side glove.
Niskanen feeds. Burakovsky one more for Fair. That's shouldered down. A rocket from Eric Fair. Matt Niskanen is over to patrol, making his Washington Capitals debut in the regular season tonight. 2 in the white. Highly paid free agent defender, formerly of the Pittsburgh Penguins. His snapshot is blocked by Beaulieu. Alex Ovechkin has another 1:07 to serve. Montreal skates 5-on-4. Their third man advantage. Holtby swats at that carom off the boards and then traps it against his pad.
Yeah, that one, weird bounce. And Holtby couldn't get that stick on it as he talks to the referee. Not a whole lot of problems for Holtby in this hockey game. There you see the weird bounce. Deflects off the defenseman, deflects off the back wall. Rene Bourque trying to get to the Capitals netminder Holtby. Not a shot there as you look at Holtby's numbers against Montreal. Flawless, perfect at 5-0, goals against under 1.
Not half bad. He especially warms to the task when the Caps are north of the border at Bell Center, where they will be for the first time at the tail end of January. 2 visits for Washington to La Belle Province, January 31 and April 2. Desharnais digging in against Joel Ward. Pacioretty rakes it on back for Markov. Then Subban, a slap pass down low. An open Desharnais had an open cage. Thankfully, it wasn't on his blade. Pacioretty flushed out by Orpik. 40 seconds in the man advantage for Montreal. Markov rotates in. Chips it below the goal line. Pacioretty wheels to Subban. Markov lets it fly. Pad save. Rebound dumped wide by Desharnais. Pacioretty to Subban. Walks the line. Pacioretty pulls the trigger. That hit Carlson. Orpik is there on for Chimera, and down she goes.
Yeah, they needed that clear there. They were a little bit under duress late there. They got 2 flamethrowers on the point, Markov and Subban. Desharnais, arguably the best chance on that rebound that he just shuffled wide.
Schmidt turns it along the baseboard. Subban sprints to keep it in. Alex Ovechkin is set free from the penalty box. We return to 5-on-5 play. Just 1 shot for Montreal during the advantage as Backstrom gallops into the offensive zone. The only tally tonight, 19-year-old rookie Andre Burakovsky. Just shy of the 7-minute mark in the first. The Caps have the lead. Sekat for Markov, and then Plekanec. Crisscrossing with Galchenyuk. Plekanec to the goal mouth. Backstrom was in good shape. Barry Trotz was beating the drum earlier today about Nicklas Backstrom being given Selke consideration. That's a topic that you and I, Al and Alan, have discussed for a number of times. Alex Ovechkin welcoming Montreal to town, and doing so in typical Ovechkin fashion on Comcast Sportsnet.
Still holding the 1-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Big night already for number 87, rookie Liam O'Brien. As mentioned, he's a Nova Scotia native who spent his first 2 years in Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, home of another rather famous 87, Sidney Crosby. In fact, when Liam O'Brien was given number 87 at Capitals development camp, he didn't really know what to do because he didn't want people to think he was taking that because of Sidney Crosby. But of course, guys, he was also remembered the last Capital to wear number 87 was a rather tough guy in Donald Brashear. And Locker, I like what our partner Joe Beninati had to say to Liam O'Brien. If you want to make fans of both number 87s happy, just score 100 points and get over 100 minutes in penalties. It's simple, right?
Right on, Al Koken. He's taking a lot of heat from a lot of his buddies back home, though. Hey, what are you doing wearing 87? I never picked it. The training staff did for him. But he seems very comfortable in those threads.
Craig, he impressed me this morning for a number of reasons. When the Montreal Canadiens media assembles inside of a visiting dressing room, there are a ton of folks, English and French speaking, and there's Liam conducting a press conference in French. I didn't anticipate that.
Must have had to learn that playing in the Quebec Junior Leagues, Joe.
Rimouski and Ruan Noranda. He was earmarked, what, for Sherbrooke this year,
Sherbrooke
right?
this year is an overage, and they're probably shaking their head. What the heck? We thought we were going to get this great player.
Brouwer on the curl and drag had it blocked. Excuse me, I'm not going to be there. I've got an NHL assignment. Pretty amazing. Young man was passed over in 3 different NHL drafts.
And if I think back, Joe, I think he even attended a couple of development camps with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
As we hit the 8-minute mark, the cheers of "Let's go Caps" from the capacity crowd at Verizon Center. A 1-0 advantage with the NHL on CSN. Andrei Burakovsky has the lone goal. Backstrom and Fair run into one another. Subban then flattens Fair.
And it should have been a hit from behind, but they let play continue. Should have been called there. Subban is dog-tired in his zone, can hardly move.
Here's PK. Just ladling this one back to center, and Pernell Carl needs a breather. Backstrom on the go, delicately inside. Ovechkin snapped it wide. This pass looking for the Caps captain, deflected out of play. It remains 1-0 for Washington. Folks, the Caps' next home game. Come on out and see the Grade 8, Tuesday, October 14th. The San Jose Sharks are here. Visit WashingtonCaps.com or call 1-800-745-3000 to purchase your tickets today.
Dampened the party a little bit in Los Angeles last night, raising the Stanley Cup banner. Good opportunity there for OV. Got under the puck and up she goes, up and over the glass. One of the new rules this year, even if you shoot it over and you're the offensive player, face-off still stays inside. In the past, that face-off would have come outside the zone for a face-off.
Capitals are buzzing in the offensive zone. They are out shooting Montreal for the contest 18-7. Light fires here, and a sliding Gilbert erased that. Gilbert with a good defensive play, 77 in the red. A free agent acquisition for the Canadiens.
Yeah, sort of takes over for Josh Georges and Kostlak.
Wow, Galchenyuk, a great move and a better save there by Holtby. Like will swivel. Montreal still on the forecheck. Zekac for Plekanec. And then Galchenyuk. He was marked by Light. 5-on-5 play here nearing the midway mark of regulation. Brooks Light sturdy there on the defensive end, using the glass to put it back onto the Montreal side of center. There's a 31-year-old Gilbert on the advance. Gallagher's speed, the quick drive right to the chest and glove of Braden Holtby.
Well, Galchenyuk can dance, can he, Joe B?
Oh,
yeah,
can he ever?
He flies in there, his 3rd season, 3rd pick in 2012. There's that nifty move and a wicked shot. As you take a look at our Jeep net cam, Braden Holtby, notice how far out he is. I love when he plays that aggressive style. Our Jeep net cam, a great view for the fans at home here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Galchenyuk still playing the wing for head coach Michel Therrien. Everybody says in the future Galchenyuk will be a pivot, a center in this league. Now he's working in tandem with the likes of Tomas Plekanec, a veteran who has always been a thorn in Washington's side. Backstrom skipping out of the defensive zone. Ovechkin drawing 3 defenders. 10 minutes exactly in period 2. This is offside Montreal.
Yeah, they're trying to get it going in transition against Carlson and Ovechkin. Pacioretty, the leading scorer for this Montreal Canadiens team last year. He's a guy to beware of. 39 goals, 60 points. Scored on the first shot last night in the game against the Leafs. That was the 9,000th goal for the Montreal Canadiens on the road.
That's all. Max Pacioretty, you guys were talking about the value of Alex Ovechkin with respect to the ratio of goals scored. Alex was number 1. Pacioretty was number 2 last season by percentage of his team's offensive output.
Took a little heat in the playoffs. Didn't produce in the playoffs like he did during the regular season.
Parento fires. Holtby was on a good angle there, and the Caps will clear. Montreal was held to just 2 shots in the first. They're up to 8 in this middle stanza. This one comes on down, and the officials with the hybrid icing call against Montreal.
No, Brooks Orpik, he's brought in to be a crease clearer and a hitter. Here's a nice one in Pacioretty. Little shot there against number 67. He's been all over the ice. Watch this step up here. Notice the gap. And there he cleans them out. That's why there was a bunch of oohs and ahs here as Eller falls in his keister there. Real good step up by Brooks Laich. Lots of hits already this game.
Brooks Orpik. We have 2 Brookses this season. Careful with that throughout. Orpik, the 2-time U.S. Olympian. Subban scoops it to center. Rennie Bourque is there. This is offside against Montreal with some more saber rattling at the line. Chance for us to catch our breath. We'll get you back downtown D.C. Liam O'Brien getting settled into his new home with Jack Hillen. 1-0 Washington.
Capitals still with the 1-0 lead. Lane Lambert, other than a couple more goals, anything else you want to see from your teams?
Well, you know, we got to capitalize on our chances, obviously. But you know, we're generating, we're creating, we're doing some good things. Montreal held tight in the first period. They came out of it probably the way they wanted to, considering the push we put on. And we've got to get momentum back here a little bit. It's starting to turn just a bit. We've got to get momentum back.
All right, Lane, we appreciate it. That's Lane Lambert in Illegal Seafood's Bite of the Night.
Gentlemen, thank you. Washington on top by 1. Only Boston allowed fewer goals in the Atlantic Division than Montreal a year ago, thanks in large part to the net minding of Carey Price. This evening, Dustin Tokarski has already made 18 saves. Montreal's trying to get this game level now at the offensive end. Gilbert sprints to keep it in. South of the goal line, Galchenyuk muscling with Niskanen. Gilbert helping out from point position. Rolled all the way around. Markov will keep it alive. Good pickoff by Eric Fair. Loping strides back on out for Ovechkin. Gets the center line and dumps it right to Tokarski. Barry Trotz wants the line change. The long head man, whoa. It rolls right to Holtby, and he'll clamp onto it.
Yeah, Yemlin right up the gut. Very similar to the pass he made to Plekanec last night in Toronto. And a great opportunity for a breakaway. Caps on a line change, and here they come up ice. Long range pass, and there it is. Just skips off the end of the stick. Caps on a line change, just about caught by that quick up to Travis Moll.
Second period, the longer change for Washington here at home. 4 of their first 5 to be played at Verizon Center. Caps with a slim lead when it comes to the face-off margin as Holtby latches onto another long blast from Beaulieu.
Well, this next goal is critical. You take a look at the face-offs. They've changed a little bit this year, and you see the players not encroaching when you look at the face-off circle. They've spread out the way the guys line up, Joe B, and they have more room. You don't see as many shoulder knocks off the face-off. They're using the international rules with the hash marks on the circles.
We'll have a chance to show that to you as the evening progresses. Moen on a wrister that was denied by Nate Schmidt. Johansson speeds out of his own zone. Had that pass glance off the boot of Brandon Prust. Prust already under the score sheet with a 5-minute major for fighting Liam O'Brien. Caps have a 1-0 lead. Andre Burakovsky on the board. Joel Ward out there now, the third leading goal scorer for the Caps a season ago. Desharnais with a smooth entry. Desharnais turns, feeds, Gallagher fires, and Holtby on top of the crease.
Yeah, good play there by Montreal. Again, they're starting to get some energy. Desharnais, a couple of chances in the second period. To further our thoughts about that face-off dot and the hash marks in face-offs, we're going to take a look down. And here's where the distance is. They've expanded that distance so players have to stand outside that. Notice in the past they were about 2 feet tighter, which meant a lot of shoulder bumps off the face-offs. They think this gives them more room, guys, to skate to create more offense.
Perfect example of it, a win of the draw there. And still, though, Chimera able to close ground quickly on PK Subban. This one's flexed into the corner. Subban and Chimera go to the end wall with 7:13 to go in our second period. John Carlson played his first ever game against Montreal back on November of 2009. He's out there teaming up with Brooks Orpik. Behind the play, Pacioretty and Ward need to be separated. As the Caps build some momentum, Pacioretty steals, Gallagher waits and drives, stick save Holtby, rebound loose. Desharnais wanted a call. He was flattened in front. Referees allowing the play to continue.
Yeah, they're going to call. They want to delay a game, but it deflected off his sticking out. Montreal yelling and screaming on the bench. Could have been a penalty down low as Pacioretty was hit hard from behind. Montreal has turned this game around a little bit. This next goal, more than anything, is critical for both teams. I think if Caps can get one past Tokarski, it's going to take the air out of the sails of Montreal here.
John Carlson played an awful lot in the preseason for what that's worth for Washington. In fact, he led the NHL in terms of shifts per game in preseason action. Better than 30 per contest. Washington finished preseason at 5-3. Ovechkin had 3 goals during those games that don't count. He had 3 against Montreal a season ago. Those very much counted. Along his way to winning a 4th Rocket Richard trophy. The advance for Backstrom is off of his blade. Gilbert will corral. 6 minutes and change to go in the second period. Backstrom on the go. Nicholas has never scored a goal on season opening night. He has 9 assists, however. Ovechkin hiding, spins on Eller. Plays it on top for Hillen, and then Schmidt fires. That's blocked in front. Karam's off of Markov, who is stationed ahead of Tokarski. Fair absorbs the hit, dealing with 2 defenders. Good work. Back for Hillen. Schmidt, one-timer. He yanked it wide of the goal. Caps in the middle of a change. Rennie Bourque able to play clear and get a face full of Troy Brouwer just the same.
Man, Rennie Bourque off-season last year, but a fabulous playoffs for Montreal.
I wonder if Caps fans have long memories. It was Rennie who once put a chicken wing elbow up into the face of Nicholas Backstrom and cost him a lot of time. As the puck leaves the rink, it remains a 1-0 game. And there's your goal scorer. Andre Burakovsky getting adjusted to life in the NHL. Hard hits, highlights of the game are brought to you by Timberland Pro.
There's OB on the defenseman Weaver. OV on Desharnais. OR along the boards. OV again, and there's OR again. And then a battle to boot for Liam O'Brien here in this hockey game. A lot of hits all around. Orpik the leader for the Caps. They brought him in to do just that. As you take a look at the hit totals through 40 minutes, or just about 40 minutes, the Caps 5 better than Montreal.
Nicholas Backstrom's having a great night at the faceoff dot. He wins again. He's won 11 of his 13 draws this evening. A little bit more than 5 minutes with which to work in the second period. 1-0 for the Caps in the white jerseys. Alzner backtracking, teaming up with Matt Niskanen. Backstrom waits, keeps it along the boards, and Fair will just trundle it ahead. PK Subban outlasting Alex Ovechkin. Galchenyuk will wind it up. Plekanec comes to help. Best numbers against the Caps by far of anyone in the Montreal lineup through their careers. Galchenyuk wipes out. He had Niskanen hovering over top. Matt Niskanen, the Minnesota native, able to play it clear. Foot race here. Chimera's going to win it. Icing's washed out. Beaulieu rolls it around the boards.
Being the oldest guy in the Caps, can he ever still fly?
Jason Chimera, straight line speed is remarkable and powerful. Weaver attacked by Like. Manny Malhotra able to chip it clear. There's Nate Schmidt on the hand-to-head. Schmidt told us he's done a lot more skating in the offseason at Mariucci Arena in Minnesota, more so skating than the running he used to do in the offseason. Feels much better.
Yeah, he looks like he's got another step and another gear when he comes out of the zone with the puck.
Changed his diet too, Locker. He says he misses pizza an awful lot.
That's coming up on the road for us, isn't it?
You never know.
Or are we going to change ours around?
Just tell Nate he can splurge sometimes.
Okay.
Markov on the go. Deep slot there. Burakovsky getting back. And then Prust will send it back behind Braden Holtby, who's faced 14 shots to this point, a dozen of them in the second period alone. Pacioretty's canceled out. Burakovsky was close by, digging for it along with Schmidt. Desharnais to the outside. David Desharnais, a former ECHL MVP.
Great story, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't get drafted or you're not drafted. They still find you. Doesn't matter what league you play in. If you're a good player, you have a chance to play at the highest level like the NHL.
Desharnais was Montreal's fourth leading scorer last year. The assist leaders are presented by your local Hyundai dealers. Let them assist you in scoring the lowest prices on the hottest lineup in America.
Well, OV all over the record book here in Washington. Probably will be at the end of the season, too. Ahead of Gartner, Hunter, and Backstrom. His next assist, he'll pass Mike Gartner.
Those the end results of 40 years of playmaking in Caps history. Alex Ovechkin closing in on Peter Bondra when it comes to overall points, and he's exactly 50 goals away from Bondra's career goal scoring record in Washington. Nice number, isn't it? Fair sends it along for Carlson, squeezes through Yemelin. Fair to the goal mouth, gloved away and played to safety by P.A. Parenteau. Parenteau, well traveled in his NHL career. Now Montreal, his sixth different team.
Can always score, Joe. We've always seen him every time we've played on a team that he plays on. He's always got that sniper mentality. He's a very good goal scorer.
Even in full strength, Caps in the middle of a line change. 2 minutes to go in period two, and 1-0 still for Washington. Burakovsky, the game's only goal, back in the first, and look out on the bench.
Brooks Light gave Subban a little whack at the end of that play when the puck went into the Capitals bench. And Subban went after Light, took exception to that little swat, and that's why we have a little commotion to the right of the goaltender, Tokarski.
Chimera jawing with Subban. Stay up to date on your favorite team. Download the new CSN Washington app today, featuring breaking news, instant analysis, scores, and now video. Get everything Capitals, Redskins, Wizards, DC United, and more right now on the new CSN Washington app.
Well, one guy that they wanted to make sure they tied up long-term was that guy, Subban. Norris Trophy winner, can move the puck, great speed, great skill. And he's one of the leaders now in Montreal. You know, he's the highest paid guy when it comes to defenders. PK Subban last year, 53 points. Goal last night versus Toronto to kick off this season.
Yo, PK, can I borrow $10? 8 years, $72 million.
Not bad. Held out a little bit, right? They were jockeying back and forth, and finally they came to their senses and said, this guy is a long-term have.
In a 1-0 game in Washington, Beaulieu run to the ditch by Chimera. Canadians don't get out cleanly. Good forechecking pressure here for Washington. Chimera taking a turn, taking Beaulieu hard to the glass. Ward comes out of there with a puck. Now they'll go into the cycle. Ward from his skate to his stick had that one erased. And it's cleared away by Beaulieu. Good shift there, though, for the veteran trio. Alsner down the alleyway. The carom for Beaulieu. He'll take it as Ward's out of gas now with 70 seconds remaining in the second period. Brouwer, Burakovsky, Johansson on ice in white for Washington. Marcus Johansson creeping out of the corner. Johansson waits. Feeds it below the goal line. There's Burakovsky. to the slot. Brouwer right to the midsection of Tokarski.
Yeah, nice play by Brouwer down low, but it's a lot to do with Burakovsky too as he moves around in the corner. Then Brouwer gets open. Brouwer finds a soft spot away from the defenseman and below the top forward. Here's Burakovsky. Look at him work one-on-one, puck protecting. Then he waits for Brouwer to come across before the defender can get to him. Notice the top guy, Galchenyuk, too far away. The bottom guy gives him just enough room. It's a real nice pass by the young Capital center.
Brouwer, the British Columbia native, now in his 4th season with Washington. Set up Burakovsky for the lone tally tonight. 45 seconds to go in the middle frame. Burakovsky in good shape on the breakout. John Carlson feathers this one ahead. Malhotra was waiting for it. Manny Malhotra, 34 years of age, now the 7th different team with which he's worked, as Pruss gets into it with Orpik.
Now we got a meeting again behind the net. A lot of pushing and shoving, face washes. Now fist being thrown with Carlson being
Travis
involved.
Moen is a tough customer there in that department.
Yeah.
And Orpik is coming to help his teammate there.
Yeah, he was just swinging freely at Carlson. It all started on a delayed offside, and then Pruss got involved behind the net with Orpik as this period comes to its conclusion.
So we can get into this discussion here, you, me, Al Koken, and then I'm sure Rob Carlin, Alan May, Brent Johnson at the studio. The Caps seeing the likes of Moen in the lineup and Pruss, guys who are very accomplished when dropping the gloves. You know, without Tom Wilson, who is the most combative of the Caps last year, is that something that Montreal would try to take advantage of?
Well, I think they want to play physical and tough, but again, remember coming in, Trotz says we need a gang mentality, and here's the play. Nothing's happening, but look at Pruss going right after Orpik. Now, that should be the first minor penalty. Nothing would have happened, and Orpik was unsuspecting, Joe. Obviously, he has laid out some of the Habs in the neutral zone. You pick your spots to get back at guys, and they're chirping on the bench at Orpik. He's had 2 great open ice hits, and that's why they both went after Orpik here in the late stages of the second.
These guys can all take care of themselves, but John Carlson is not known to drop the glove. Someone like Travis Moen can do it and do it very well. Brooks Orpik knew that. He got right back into the fray. So penalties for Chris Lee and Rob Martel, this evening's referees, to dole out. They'll come at the 19:26 mark of the second.
And this may cost Montreal late here. The Caps can get one quickly with 33.6 left in this period. That would really take the air out of the sails of their head coach, because they put together a much better second period than their first period. They were flat in the first. The Caps dominated. The second, they got some life back. But this penalty may derail their comeback idea.
I mentioned Tom Wilson. Good to see him on the ice, working out with the team now. He's out of the lineup injured. Dmitry Orlov just the same. Jay Beagle, Aaron Volpatti joining them on the Washington injured list. Michael Latta and John Erskine are not in uniform tonight.
Yeah, and it's nice that Wilson's on the short-term IR, Joe, which means, you know, he can come back sooner. He can get ready. He may be assigned to the American League. There are 2 trains of thought. Does he play a little bit up here, 8 to 10 minutes, and then get sent down, or does he go right to Hershey? That's GM and coach discussing that.
For those who might be unaware, Tom Wilson working back after an off-season injury. Getting back into conditioning, it may require some time with the American Hockey League Bears. Pruss for slashing, Moen for roughing. Orpik gets a roughing minor. End result, Washington man advantage late second period. Braden Holtby will tee this up for Alex Ovechkin. Time ticking away, 19 seconds to go. At the line, Backstrom, saucer pass, Carlson. To the corner for Brouwer with 12 seconds left. Plekanec has some running room. He'll get it out for Montreal. 5 seconds to go. Backstrom, a last-ditch effort. Wrist shot on the way. Pad save. Tokarski. Centering pass. Karams to the corner. And we are done with 2 in D.C. Braden Holtby still a clean slate. Canadians up to 14 shots and counting. Burakovsky has the only goal of the game. Came back in the first at 6:43. Lattice's Intermission Live is coming up. We're sending you back to the studio in just a few moments. Al Koken should have a guest with him. Locker and I will team up for highlights and stats this Thursday evening as they tend to the ice surface here at Verizon Center. 1-0, Washington has the advantage after 40 minutes of play. Sending you back to the studio, Michael Jenkins to begin Lattice's Intermission Live. Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Capitals hockey has been brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. The Washington, D.C. Buick and GMC dealers. Thundercat Technologies, empowering your enterprise IT systems for mission-critical environments. And by Toyota. Check out the bold new 2015 Camry and visit buyatoyota.com for offers.
Some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold, but you will remember me for centuries. Just one mistake is all it will take. We'll go down in history. Remember me for centuries. Remember me for centuries. Mama tied my teenage dreams.
Centuries are one thing. Caps are celebrating 4 decades with this NHL Face-Off 2014 tonight inside of Verizon Center. It's the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin, Al Koken with you. The Caps have a 1-0 advantage over the visiting Canadians. Andre Burakovsky on the board in the first. Twitter tonight, hashtag Capitals Talk. What do you like most about the Caps lineup this season? Locker, the answers are filing in.
Yeah, always great social media coming in here to Comcast. Lots to be excited about. New system. Fair on the top line. Niskanen, Orpik, Greeny and Orlov. All about getting stronger D.
I see the tweets coming in. Did your daughter Courtney text you about how her pregame segment went?
Absolutely loved it.
Good.
She's sitting there with the fellas getting ready for postgame to watch it in the studio. Very, very excited with her first opportunity here tonight.
Welcome aboard, Courtney. Well done. Troy Brouwer set up Andre Burakovsky back in the opening period. The 19-year-old with his first ever NHL marker at 6:43. No scoring in the second. And now the power play of which we were speaking during the intermission. The Caps have 127 with which to work on the man advantage.
They need to create momentum right now.
Brouwer controls the face-off. John Carlson scales it in wide of Dustin Tokarski, who's in the goal for head coach Michel Therrien tonight. Carey Price being given the night off. These Canadians a busy start to the season. 4 games, 6 nights, all on the road. Price and the Habs were victorious an evening ago in Toronto. Ovechkin gets the line, spins away from Pacioretty. Moves it down the dasher. Brouwer was upset there by Weaver, and the Canadians are back with Pacioretty on the stutter step move. Collared by Ovechkin, and Alex is on his way to the penalty box again.
Man, it was that stutter step, as you so well described, Joe, that turned the change his pace and change his speed to throw Alex to the box. He knew Pacioretty had a step on him and threw out his arm around his shoulder.
Washington number 18 missed for holding.
And it's going to be Alex heading to the box. So there goes that power play that I thought the Capitals really needed. There's a change of pace. Left hand in there right on the shoulder, and he knew it right away. The stick around the A and the Habs crest. Ovechkin to the box.
Pacioretty, who led the league in game-winning goals last season. Montreal in search of a game-tying tally in the early stages of the third. 4-on-4 for 45 more seconds.
And very similar to the change of speed he used on, I think, Dion Phaneuf last night in that game in Toronto.
Fair, boxed in by the defender Tom Gilbert. Alzner will swing, teaming up with his new defense partner, Matt Niskanen. Burakovsky stretching his legs down the wing. Cuts to the middle. Burakovsky hesitates on his backhand. Points it for Alzner. 4-on-4, another 17 seconds. Niskanen towards the cage. It deflects wide. Eric Fair was setting the screen.
Man, Trotz showing a lot of confidence in the young guy. Number 67, Burakovsky. 4-on-4 is very difficult, Joe. You play more man-on-man than you do sometimes zone and man-on-man when you're playing 5-on-5.
Brouwer on the go, working laterally. Had that one muffled by Subban. 90 seconds into period 3. Caps are shorthanded for the next 58 seconds. Brower has an alleyway, feeds for Light, drive, and Tokarski took the angle away.
Yeah, Montreal very casual in their line change, and Tokarski up to the challenge, taking that shot off the shoulder. Brooks Laich was set in nicely with Brower and company, but it was a good rewind. Look at the Caps quickly up. Look at all the Montreal Canadiens changing. They've had a couple of them, and the Caps haven't made them pay. Real good look, and our Jeep net cam from behind. Great opportunity there, right to the shoulder. Good shot, a little bit high for that goaltender, and did not beat him over the shoulder.
Tokarski, who hails from Humboldt, Saskatchewan, and there have been quite a few NHL stars from there.
Including Brendan Witt and the great Glenn Hall.
Power play stats are packaged by the UPS store. 40 seconds on the man advantage for the guys in the red jersey. John Carlson didn't get it through Pacioretty. Brendan Gallagher for David Desharnais. Subban, switch it up. Markov. Subban waits. Looking for that high deflection. Desharnais slap pass caromed off of Orpik and back to center. Ovechkin serves another 15 seconds in the penalty box. Subban rifles one in. Holtby was not able to slow that one down. Gallagher marching right to the cage. Poke check by Holtby.
Great poke check, stick work in front of the net. Very aggressive as Braden Holtby, making sure he got a piece of that.
Loose in front here, deflection try. Tokarski to stop on Backstrom, and then it's cleaned up by 22-year-old Jiri Sekak.
Yeah, third time in this game that Subban has coughed up the puck. The goalie comes to his rescue there. Did not on the Burakovsky goal. Subban a little too loose in his own zone, probably to their liking and my liking up here, Joby.
Ovechkin one-on-one with a dart that's snared by Tokarski.
Yeah, good stop right there. OV flying down, cuts laterally from left to right and lets her rip. Here he is, left side, where he scored 41 of 52 last year, and there's that shot. Notice the D. Gilbert has to give him room. Look at him backpedal, then he's moving laterally, and there's that dandy shot. Excellent glove save.
Alex Ovechkin, a season ago, leading the league in those two categories, emboldened in gold. Yemelin looking to clear with the help of Travis Moen. Feisty winger, Moen 32 in the red. Two teams are back to 5-on-5 play. Early stages of the third. Capitals in front in this their season opener. Montreal already with one game in the books. A 4-3 win, a thriller last night in Toronto. All the way down. Holtby will stray. Liam O'Brien on the exit pass. Icing's washed out. Chris Brown gets in there. Brooks Laich also on the top of the forecheck. Through center comes Prust. He and Orpik have exchanged barbs through the night. Ward protecting it. Freight train there by Eller. As Holtby will slow this down, there's more pushing and shoving in front of the Washington bench. Carlson and Eller at each other's nose.
Carlson's a bit in the grill of everybody in this game. Did not like that shot from behind. Eller got away with one a little bit. We'll see how they dole out penalties here. Probably coincidental minors. It should end up with some more 4-on-4 hockey.
All of a sudden, Lars Eller in his 5th full season as a Montreal Canadian. John Carlson approaching now 300 NHL games on his ledger, all with the Caps.
Yeah, there's that shot right there. Eller. They say they want to have a gang mentality, so you come to the rescue. Very close to being a hit from behind. And on the right side of the screen, you see Carlson, after this hit, who's sitting back, automatically come right in and give a couple of guys a shot. And that's why I think we'll have some penalties doled out here in the third period.
It's 1-0 here in Washington. When I check the out-of-town scoreboard elsewhere, I see a whole lot of goals going up on the score sheet, especially in that Pittsburgh-Anaheim game. Last check, the Penguins were doubling up the Ducks 6-3. We're just shy of the 4-minute mark in the third here in Washington. Just an Andre Burakovsky goal from Troy Brouwer at 6:43 of the first. Washington 6-1 all-time in season openers here at Verizon. Next up for the Caps, a trip to Boston. Squaring off with the Bruins on Saturday night. We'll have that one for you on Comcast Sportsnet. Orpik just creamed Desharnais.
He is so good coming across from his left side across the right. Guys don't realize he's coming. Great open ice hitter. That's his third one of this hockey game.
Subban, cross ring.
Not having his A game, is he?
PK drops it off, funneling it there for Desharnais, who skips into the offensive zone. On the distribution, Pacioretty, sneaky release with block. Subban keeps it in. Deals to Pacioretty, marked by Orpik. Holtby was at the ready there to lead for the turning Alex Ovechkin. Jack Hillen sets up shop. Hillen, the 28-year-old Minnesota native. Johansson on the fly through center. Full speed ahead down the wing, turning on Markov. Poke check came from Gilbert. Galchenyuk goes the other way.
Man, Mojo skating a lot better than I thought he did in preseason. That's the type of speed they expect from number 90.
Everybody finds another gear when the games count.
You're right.
Niskanen for Alzner. Alzner works and fires. Matt Niskanen said for a stay-at-home guy like Carl Alzner's supposed to be, he's much more mobile than you would think. Niskanen drew parallels to Matthias Nordstrom and Rob Scuderi, guys he's teamed up with in the past, whether it be in Dallas or Pittsburgh. When comparing Alzner's play. Almost 6 minutes gone by in the third. Michel Therrien, line change on the go for Montreal. Burakovsky on the hand-to-head. Bears in to his backhand, and he missed it wide. Sekac with a quick relay. Bork, intended for Eller, misfires. Orpik there to clean it up with help from Schmidt. Carlson flexed it ahead. Strong on the stick was fair. Then Burakovsky 1 against 2. Back checked well by Bork. 25-15. The Caps have the shots on goal advantage. Subban on the head man on through. Sekac. You see the nickname they gave him right off the bat? For his
Forrest Gump?
Yes. Could run all day. Tremendous in the testing, physical testing, as Tokarski makes the stop on Brouwer. 1-0 Washington has the advantage. This game has been chock full of big hits. Brooks Orpik. Hello, David Desharnais. Down you go on CSN. Game summary is brought to you by Night Point Systems. They offer the technology you need when you need it. Andre Burakovsky, congratulations.
Yeah, great job by Burakovsky's first NHL goal. Braden Holtby, 15 saves. 12 of them came in the second period. Very quiet first period overall for Braden. And Brooks Orpik delivering what he was brought here to Washington for, Joby. 6 hits. His last one a beauty right at the blue line.
Brooks now in his 14th season. Former Pittsburgh Penguin, first-round draft pick, and All-American during his collegiate days at Boston College. Schmidt, similar honors at Minnesota, gets back there. This is an icing call against the Montreal Canadiens. We need to put the bow on McDonald's trivia. Who played the most games for the Capitals in the team's first 2 decades?
I'm going to go with Mike Gartner.
I was going to guess the same thing.
Let's take a look.
Yes!
Mike Gartner, 758. Rod Langway, Hatcher, Miller, Gussie, and Pivo round out the most games played in the first 2 decades.
1 for 1. 1 for 1 in the regular season.
And I didn't even look that up.
We were humbled in the preseason. Well, you could see it right here on my sheet. I wrote only 1 name down, and it was a strong guess.
I didn't even write any names down.
Okay, what's your
I
point?
just thought of Gart's being here in the late 70s.
I gave you credit for it. Nicely done. Gilbert jumps up in the rush, closing, fires. Holtby may have got a whisker of that on the way by. Mullins looking for a deflection. Holtby juggles that, and he'll melt it in the crease.
Really the first time he's been tested to move around in the paint in this hockey game. And that was that last rush up the ice by the Montreal Canadiens. Other than that, Holtby's been very calm in net. Starts with the D joining the rush. The D slide there by Hillen. And there it is off his right hand and out. A great look at this. Braden Holtby backing up. As you take a look at Holt's quickness to stop that Gilbert drive off the right shoulder.
Braden Holtby, Justin Peters here in Washington. Philip Grubauer expected to be the #1 man. The American Hockey League Hershey Bears under the direction of Troy Mann with Ryan Helmer as an assistant. Chimera swivels this one back to center. 1-0 game. Gallagher fenced in by Brooks Orpik. Brooks Laich is there to lend a helping hockey stick to his namesake. Carlson to a speeding Chimera. Lets it fly, and Tokarski makes the save.
Yeah, another one high and hard to that left side. Remember, Chimera scored one of those type of goals in the preseason, coming hard off the wing and snapping her top shelf. Here he has another chance. Sharp angle, getting the puck to the net. And there's Tokarski. Pretty good stop there, making sure there was no rebound to boot.
Dustin Tokarski led the American Hockey League with 32 wins back in the 11-12 campaign. That was a Norfolk Admirals team that ran amok in the AHL.
Memorial Cup, Calder Cup. He's got winning behind him, Joe B.
Not going to get an awful lot of playing time, you would imagine, with good health. Carey Price is one of the best in the world and should be the everyday choice for Michel Therrien.
Yeah, what a year he had last year. 30-plus wins, and then got hurt in the playoffs.
Plekanec's drive, a pad save by Holtby. The rebound was Juicy Galchenyuk. Dished it over top of the cage. Markov from long range. That did not get through. It was Tokarski who came on in the series against the Rangers after the Price injury. Rangers earning a berth in the Stanley Cup final, bested by the LA Kings. Niskanen checking his rear view mirror. Tapping on for Alzner with 11:20 to go.
And when you look at shots, we've been focusing on that, especially early on. Early on, it was 15-2 Caps, Joe, after the first. Since then, 17-12 Montreal. So they've got their legs after playing last night.
Had a whistle here and a chance for us to delve into the Toyota League leaderboard. Call 1-800-LAMPLIGHTERS, and these guys are going to answer.
Most goals since 05-06. No one's even close to Alex Ovechkin, over 100 more than everybody else. And take a look at those numbers. Pretty impressive. Kovalchuk, Heatley, and Marleau round out those top 5.
Speaking of big numbers, I see where New Jersey Devils are in action tonight. Jaromir Jagr has moved into 6th place all-time in the NHL point-scoring list. Weaver spins, throws a backhand wide of a screen. Braden Holtby.
We'll see him next week.
Sure will. Part of that pregame homestand for the Caps before they go to the Canadian West. Eller to the slot. Whoa! Bang, bang, score. Parenteau.
You could just feel the tide turning, and it started in the second period. The Capitals were absolutely flawless in the first. The second was wishy-washy, and now you see the first real thrust, and Parenteau gets the goal, and I don't think Trott's very happy. He wanted a penalty called on the play. Here you see the play down low, moving the puck. Here's the shot coming out of the corner as they rotate out from the middle in the shot. And Rene Bourque.
They're going to wash it out for goalie interference or incidental contact.
One coach is happy, one coach is fuming.
Michel Therrien, 50-year-old Montreal native, working back behind the Canadiens bench. Begging for an explanation, standing at the open door now, looking for Chris Lee to come by.
Yeah, it looked like he caught his stick on the way through. Here's Eller. There's a little push. Watch his leg catch Holtby's left leg. And there's the puck going right where he moved that pad. And there he is coming through. And there's the shot that beats Holtby. And there's the call at center ice for goalie interference.
The incidental contact with the goalie, washing out a PA Parenteau marker at 9:11 of the third period, and Washington remains on the lead by the slimmest of margins. They are pleased inside of Verizon Center. The incidental contact does not cost a penalty. It does take away a precious point on the board, though, for Montreal. Gallagher skips in, fires, stick save Holtby. Yemelin sprints to keep it alive. Gallagher wheels to the front. Carlson to sweep it away. Laich wants to get it out. Yemlin with other ideas.
Yeah, real good pinch there by Yemlin, making sure he held the wall. The Caps not getting it out because of his really good pinch, using his body to shield the puck.
The first period, as you mentioned tonight, was so overpowering for Washington, but since then, it's been a very evenly played game. Chimera on a backhand floats right into the gut of Dustin Tokarski. Coming up next for us on Comcast Sportsnet with regard to the Capitals, the season continues in Beantown.
Man, Boston a hectic schedule. Last night they get the win. They're playing Detroit tonight. Detroit's ahead 2-1 after 2. And then face off against the Caps. Always a tough team, a little bit different. A little different cast of characters. Some rookies getting an opportunity in the big Bruins lineup.
Especially with David Krejci out.
Yep.
You see names like Cunningham and Spooner down the middle
And
for
that
Boston.
big fella, right? He
Robbins made the team.
First NHL game. Way to go.
Pretty amazing. Sure, he'll bump heads with Liam O'Brien on Saturday,
Yeah.
as they did in the preseason. Caps have possession of the puck. Fair from a sharp angle, rejected by Galchenyuk. Backstrom is there to support for Washington. Backstrom, Fair, and Ovechkin this trip, halfway through the third in a 1-0 game. Just minutes ago, Parenteau tally taken off the board. Incidental contact with Braden Holtby, nullifying that. Would-be tying strike. Galchenyuk hit hard by Niskanen. Galchenyuk finds a puck along the boards, switching it up for Plekanec. Gilbert, one-touch passing. Inside Plekanec, fires, he scores! Tomas Plekanec.
Well, there's that cycle. This time on the opposite corner, they rotate out after some physical play down low, and there's the top shelf shot. He's off to a rare and hot start. A couple last night. Now that one to the top corner. 179 career goals for one of the assistant captains in Montreal. Here's Alzner trying to get his stick. That is some pass as it goes through the legs of Backstrom. Ovechkin doesn't lift his stick in time and then goes past Niskanen. And that one ricochets, it looks like, on the way over the blocker side. Galchenyuk in the middle, Plekanec all around the net. We'll see who they give credit to that goal. It definitely changed angle at the end.
The Galchenyuk pass was pretty. Plekanec pots one. 80 seconds after that potential Parenteau goal was disallowed, Montreal is now in a 1-1 game. Burakovsky has the goal for Washington. He feeds it on out for Marcus Johansson, dishing this one into the corner. May give Plekanec credit for the marker. Just past the bottom of the hour are we with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe and Craig upstairs. Al Koken ringside for you as we shout out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew. Rob Carlin, Alan May, Brent Johnson coming up. Capitals post-game live presented by your DC area Acura dealers to follow us. The Schmidt-Wrister is deflected out of play. 8 minutes and 46 seconds to go in regulation. Plekanec, ever dangerous, especially against Washington, and we are level at 1 as a result. As we start a new season, Hadid Carpet shows us the road ahead.
And it starts tough, doesn't it, Joe?
It does.
Yeah, the big bad Bruins. We'll have all the coverage right here on Comcast Sportsnet on Saturday. Then a nice homestand. The Sharks, the Devs, the Panthers, and then a short West Coast trip. Touching down in Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver.
Just a short West Coast trip. Hop, skip, and a
Well, it's
jump.
only about 6 days. It's not like it's 10 or 12 like the Western Conference teams have.
That San Jose squad looked pretty formidable last night. And getting the better of the defending Stanley Cup champs on home ice. Subban towards the goal. Here in Washington, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Andre Burakovsky for the Caps back in the first. Tomas Plekanec here in the third, leveling the count. Montreal has definitely tilted the ice in the last few moments. Johansson scoops this one to safety. Yemlin picks it up on the run. Hard hitting from Troy Prowler as he spilled Parenteau into the boards. PA bounces right back up, carries the puck in. Didn't get that pass through Joel Ward. Ward powering his way through center. Joel Ward rambling in. Sets it, and a broken stick spoils the bid of Brooks Light. Chimera feeds for Carlson. Long wrister. That came chest high for Weaver. Eller on the outlet. Like right back into the fray as it's golfed in by Rennie Bork. 7.5 minutes to go in regulation time. Like jets into the corner after Weaver. Arm in arm they go to the board. Chimera's right there to help. Gallagher, former NHL All-Rookie team member, twists it on around. As this will be cleared the length. Should be an icing call against Montreal. And it is. Locker, we can revisit your voice on value, presented by Morgan Franklin Consulting.
I should have said push the pace the whole game.
Yes.
They definitely came out on our voice and value. Brought to you by Morgan Franklin in the early parts, Joe, but they've taken a step back. They haven't had the same push and pace that we wanted the whole game, but they did push it early.
Montreal team 46 wins a season ago, third best in the Atlantic Division. 100 points for the Habs. They knocked off Tampa in 4 straight, beat Boston in 7 before bowing to the Rangers in 6. Ovechkin one-on-one down the flank, didn't get through Gilbert. This is lobbed over the head of Orpik. He plays the puck on for Backstrom and then through Ovechkin to center.
And it didn't look good for Montreal to make the playoffs at one point. It was their big win March 15th when they beat Ottawa 5-4, down 4-1 late in the third. And all of a sudden, that propelled them down the stretch with a finish of 11-3-1 to secure their spot.
Capitals missed the postseason for the first time since 2007, and that necessitated a bunch of changes. There's going to be a penalty here.
On the forecheck. I think it could be Mojo going off, or Nick, as he got involved to the left of Tokarski. So the Montreal Canadiens, Joe B, have a late power play.
Locker, the penalty killing for both teams has been really good tonight.
Yeah, and it's been a boarding call here. So this is crunch time with Nick in the box. Here's the hit, Joe B, just to the left. Look at the goalie looking, and there's the shot. Defenseless is the forward Plekanec, the goal scorer for Montreal. Hit from Nick Backstrom. We didn't really mean to do that. You know, he doesn't go out of his way to do that, and he'll have a seat for hitting from behind.
Carlson, Orpik, Like, and Brouwer forward a penalty kill for Washington here. Critical juncture of this game. These power play stats are packaged by the UPS store. Montreal's 5th man advantage. Galchenyuk and Parenteau on the wings. Plekanec is in the middle. Nice keep in by Markov. Working the power play point with PK Subban. Plekanec rolls it for Parenteau. On top to Subban. Loves to shoot the puck. PK feeds for Markov. Markov waits for a seam to open.
Loves to shoot the puck.
Yes. Through the seam again for Plekanec. 1:35 in the man advantage. 5:55 in the game. Plekanec waits. Skips in. Galchenyuk. Plekanec all on the perimeter. Subban fires. That's blocked in front and swept to safety by Like while he was on the ice. Fine play by Brooks Like, drawing a cheer from the faithful at Verizon. Backstrom serves another 65 seconds. Plekanec angles in with Parenteau. And this is offside Montreal.
Capitals backpedaling, got that puck down the ice. Galchenyuk and company try to enter under control. Brooks Like and company on the PK department. You've got to block, you got to sacrifice. And this is a hard shot. And look at that stretch out of the leg by Brooks Like, getting that piece of that puck as it made its way to the net.
Brooks Like, 11 full seasons now in this DC organization. His first ever NHL goal came at Montreal's expense back in November of 2005. Burakovsky has his first ever marker tonight. It's a 1-1 game. Caps trying to keep it that way with a penalty kill. Backstrom's off another 50 seconds. Desharnais stokes it into the corner. Pacioretty and Chimera in full sprint. Subban to the front, guided but not out. Desharnais sets up shop. Playmaking center for Markov on the two-man game. Desharnais, Subban fakes, waits. Desharnais fires. Somehow that's kept away. A sprawling Holtby and a sprawling Alzner doing the job. Markov, give and go. Subban. Desharnais on the rotation to the slot, swing and a miss. Gallagher As he was upset with himself, he was in prime real estate.
Close to $1.30 of zone time for the Montreal Canadiens. They did everything properly except score. That one save will be the save of the game. That was tremendous.
On the go, Rennie Bourque fires and scores. A laser beam to the top corner.
Wow, it was in and out in a hurry. Hope he thought it hit the post because he heard the pipe. Montreal Canadiens are celebrating. I'm sure they're going to take a look at this, Joe. That was one heck of a bomb from the wing from Rennie Bourque.
Rennie Bourque, 3 times a 20-goal scorer in the NHL. The officials will be on the line with a situation room, but this is in the corner.
What a shot.
Let's see. Here's your best look. Ooh, no goal.
That's the post, dead
No
on.
goal.
No goal, absolutely right.
No
and
goal.
Hope he heard it, grabbed it, and said, no way. That one knocked the post up. He shot that puck so hard. The post on the left side, Joe, came up and out of its moorings about an inch. It was that hard of a slap shot for Bourque. This game will remain 1-1 here in Washington.
Canadians had a goal by P.A. Parenteau disallowed due to incidental contact with a goalie. They thought they had taken the lead on a bullet from Bourque, as I did 6 stories above the ice here at Verizon Center, but you just saw that replay. It was a clang, full speed.
Here's another look at it. Look at the shot coming here, sharp angle. And that is as dead as can be. And Hope, he said, what for? That hit the pipe. Here's the best look of that. And it's dead on, and watch the post move up a little bit. Actually moves the net because of the velocity.
You don't see it tickle the mesh at all from that angle.
After reviewing the play, there's no goal on the play.
Referee Chris Lee was so emphatic with his point. He sold me on it being a goal. Hope he recovered the rebound quickly enough, thinking that it hit the frame all the while, and Rennie Bourque goes begging. It stays 1-1.
Well, there was a good chance. He was right there, Joe. I thought it might have even hit underneath the crossbar. You know, underneath, and came out so fast. Caps will take it, though. That was the end of that power play. Still 3 seconds left on Backstrom's call.
There is no doubt that Montreal has had the better of the play here in the third period. They've rallied to tie it at 1, and they were a millimeter away from taking the lead there. Yemelin closes. Long drive, Subban right to the chest and glove of Braden Holtby as we're back to full strength. Step away, get you back for an exciting conclusion. Season opening night with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. 1-1. 1-1 inside a noisy Verizon Center, enjoying Brooks Orpik's Capitals debut.
An excellent debut for Brooks Orpik, wearing the A. Very physical, very tough. We knew that was the type of play over the many years we've seen him as a Pittsburgh Penguins. Great open ice hits, got involved physically, set the tone for the Caps, especially in their own zone, delivering that physical play the Caps have been looking for.
Parts of 13 years in the black and gold system of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Won a cup in 2009. Signed a lucrative free agent deal this past summer. 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go in regulation time of a 1-1 draw. Ward using the boards, going indirect. There's Light. Brooks Light to the front for Chimera. Came right on through. He had a step on his defender, Brendan Gallagher. The Canadians have iced the puck.
Joe B, I got a nice tweet from a buddy of ours. Guess who it is? Oh, White Moose Ranch.
I can't pull that.
That's that chance there going to the net. We mentioned him earlier when we talked about Tokarski.
Brendan Witt.
Yes, he sends a big shout out to us out here watching the game on his ranch. Always great to hear from Brendan Witt and the family out there on the ranch.
You hear what the guys in the truck are saying?
What?
Witter on Twitter. Best wishes for Brendan and his bunch. Niskanen sends this one well wide of the cage. Backstrom is there, guarded by P.K. Subban. 3:50 left in regulation time. Season opening night for Washington. Game 2 for the Habs. Ovechkin steps in. Long wrister goes way wide of Tokarski. The ricochet sends Galchenyuk speeding in the other direction. Niskanen will take care of him. Fair for Washington. Wandering back through center. Gilbert crossing over to take Ovechkin off the play with 3:20 to go. Brooks Laich giving chase. Markov and Gilbert waiting. Laich to the point for Jack Hilling. Wrister through traffic. Blocked by Sekak. Counterattack form. That pass goes off the boot of Plekanec. Tomas Plekanec a goal in the third period, tying this game at 1. Schmidt accelerates out of his own zone and clears in. Tokarski with the traffic instructions for Weaver. On the reverse for Beaulieu. Pressured quickly by Laich. Chimera for Washington. Drops it off in the corner. Malhotra beat Laich but didn't get it clear. Schmidt at the line. Malhotra again. Manny Malhotra 2-on-2. Fakes the wrister. Now looks for reinforcements. That one's kicked wide of the goal by Travis Moen. 2:25 with which to work in the third. Orpik challenged by Prust. We have not seen a lot, if any, of the fourth line for Washington, as Holtby will take no chances here and cover up.
Yeah, Kuznetsov and company not getting a lot of ice time coming in the mid part of the third. Kuznetsov had about 6 minutes of ice for Barry Trotz here tonight.
Working with Liam O'Brien and Chris Brown. Liam's mom, Susan, dad, Sean, here to watch their son make his NHL debut. Barry Trotz changing personnel as time ticks away here in the third period. 28-22, Washington has a shots on goal advantage. Subban laced that one wide of the goal. Fair in possession for Washington. Moves the puck down. Subban prevents it from going all that deep. Rennie Bourque, who hit the post dead on just a few moments ago. Red light came on, referee pointed. It looked for all the world like Montreal took the advantage. The replay said, no, you don't. Ovechkin 3-on-3. Crossing over, Fair had his stick tied up by Lars Eller. 100 seconds to go in regulation time. Subban. He and the Canadiens split a pair of 3-2 decisions in Washington last year. Niskanen in a tussle with Gallagher. Refs allow the play to continue. Pacioretty digs the puck loose. Gilbert, though, took his eyes off it. They got to all the way come back to Tokarski's neighborhood. 70 seconds to go. Bad clearing effort there. Desharnais cleaned it up. Gallagher softly to Holtby's doorstep. And shovels to Niskanen. Board to board. Here's Orpik. Final minute of regulation time. Both teams in the middle of personnel changes. Niskanen carefully on through Johansson and down. Icing is washed out. Subban will reverse. 40 seconds to go. Carlson on target to Johansson. Through Subban. Johansson fires, and that's blocked by a sprawling defender. Johansson looks to stop. Tokarski's at the post, and he'll cover. In a 1-1 contest late in regulation, this evening's Caps player of the game. We'll choose Brooks Orpik, sponsored by the Palm Restaurant.
Yeah, and you look at those numbers, that's why he's deserving. 6 hits, a couple of blocks, over 20 minutes of work for Brooks. Really had a strong debut here in Washington tonight.
Hockey fans, you can enter to be the Palm Fan of the Month at thepalm.com/fan. 25 seconds left. Orpik gets repositioned. Fair's going to take this draw against Malhotra, who's annually around 60% of the dot. Manny won that one cleanly. Prust goes indirect for Eller. Stick check by Orpik. 15 seconds left. Brooks Orpik has possession and some room. Ovechkin strides ahead. Fair with 6 seconds to go. Fair waits. The drive goes high and wide. Orpik towards the cage. As the siren sounds, ending 60 minutes of regulation play, but not without another tussle along the boards.
Well, Pruss thought the fair hit to finish off this period was a little late. That's why he comes over to have a little talk. Zam will come out, do a dry scrape, and we'll have overtime.
Yes, we will. Holtby and Tokarski in the net-minding duel. It's Montreal against Washington after 60 minutes. We're back with sudden victory overtime on Comcast Sportsnet. Capitals Overtime is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Fun way to open a new season. Washington Capitals embarking on their 40th anniversary campaign. It's NHL Face-Off 2014. Montreal Canadiens in town. One and only visit this year for the Habs, and they've earned some extra hockey. A 1-0 lead for the Caps became a 1-1 draw after 60. The Geico highlights showing you how Washington grabbed the lead.
Looking good. Subban turns the puck over to Bauer, finds Burakovsky, his first NHL goal, Joe B.
That first period, it looked like Washington would win this game 7-0. It was anything but that throughout.
Yeah, and then in the second period, Montreal got their legs. This one, they thought they had it tied up, coming into the high slot, but no, watch the leg, hit the left leg. That was Rene Bourque. It's waved off.
Incidental contact, no goal for Parenteau.
But this one does count. Galchenyuk to Plekanec. Nice sauce there, Joe. Pretty good shot by Plekanec.
Tying it up at 10:31. Montreal had the better of the play. They thought they took the lead here.
And what a blast on a sharp angle. And here's a good look at it. Directly off the pipe. You could see the net move. After he signaled a goal, they quickly waved that one off. And there we are in overtime at 1 apiece.
Before we begin the 4-on-4 fray, here's Al Koken.
Well, Joe, as you and Craig know, there's been a little early controversy about this dry scrape before overtime. Does it blunt momentum? Well, I can tell you it's been something that's worked to the advantage of the Capitals, because the moment regulation was over, goaltender Braden Holtby raced over here to the Capital bench, and he handed both his catching glove and his blocker glove to equipment manager Brock Miles, who raced back into the equipment room behind me and had to work on both pieces of equipment. He got it about 30 seconds ago and should be ready to go. So at least Braden Holtby's happy for a little extra time to get ready for the extra session.
It's interesting, Al, at this time of the year, Braden's breaking in a lot of gear. You show up at Kettler Capitals Iceplex around his locker stall. He's got 4 sets of gloves, blockers, 3 sets of pads. He's found the one that he likes to work with tonight, involved in a nice net-minding matchup with Dustin Tokarski. This will be the first overtime game in the NHL this season, this very young season, and that includes tonight, a dozen games on the slate this Thursday. As Holtby roughs up the crease, Carey Price is a bystander, watching the end result of this, the first of 3 between Washington and Montreal.
Huge season out last year for Carey Price. 34 wins, goals against under 2.5, 927, a gold medal. He was all that. I mean, he had his best year from cover to cover and got them into the playoffs.
Carey turned 27 in August. We are underway. Each team's earned a point in the standings. 4-on-4. First goal wins it. PK Subban waiting back behind the cage on a night when the Capitals do not have Mike Green in their lineup. Mike Green, from time to time in his career, game over Green for his productivity in overtime. Hoping to get Greeny back into the lineup on Saturday in Boston. This pass off the skate boot of Ovechkin rolls into the Montreal D territory. Say hello to Mike Weaver. On the reverse for PK Subban. 25-year-old Toronto native. Long stretch play looking for Pacioretty. Comes all the way down. It's icing against Montreal.
Pacioretty would have needed a lacrosse stick or something with webs in it to catch that pass.
Borrow a glove from Carey Price on the bench.
Trying to use that stretch pass, elevated the puck. And that's the guy you wanted on his stick, though. 39 goals, including the last goal last night to start that win last night in Toronto for Pacioretty.
Yeah, his talents, his offensive skills are scary when he gets rolling. Face-off stalemate. Possession belongs to Washington. Joel Ward stacked up, finds Chimera from the angle up the outside of the cage. Subban lost the handle. PK recovers. Pacioretty slowing the tempo. Upset there by Ward. He and Chimera continue to dig on the forecheck. A 1-1 hockey game in overtime. Just past the top of the hour with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Ward looking to break. Subban recovers. PK sends it hard around. Through center, Plekanec with stick check. Both teams getting fresh folks on ice. Niskanen for Johansson. Gliding into the attack. Marcus pulls the trigger. Shrugged away by Tokarski's glove. Johansson captures again. On the crisscross overlap. Schmidt going to the goal. Pad save. Rebound loose. Just dragged wide of the goal by Light.
He couldn't kick it up to his stick. He knew he had an open net if it gets to his twig.
Barry Trotz told us about the D getting involved in the cycle there, and they did it nicely in 4-on-4 play. It was Schmidt creating a problem for Montreal.
And it's usually the offside guy away from the puck that they want going to the net.
Hillen crashing down now from the point. The pass was deflected away. Schmidt comes over to corral Galchenyuk. On the delay, deep slot pass came on through. Gilbert will trace it down right in front of the Montreal bench. 1-1 in overtime.
And after the dry scrape, the new rule means you've got the long change here to start overtime. For the complete overtime period, they're hoping that's going to open things up. Montreal had already had a slow change that the Capitals tried to jump on with a stretch pass. Look for more of that.
Brouwer hits the seam. Brouwer feeds. Good recovery, though, by Markov as he stepped in the way of Andre Burakovsky. Burakovsky, the goal for Washington. Plekanec for Montreal. That's all she wrote. Burakovsky revving it up back through center. Closing in on the feed. The drive was sent wide. Brouwer missed the mark on the short side. Rennie Bourque tables this for Markov with 2 minutes to go in the extra session. Gilbert confidently out of his own zone. Eller rolls it softly to Braden Holtby. Braden finds the open Fair. Working in with Kuznetsov. Fair fires. That one went high. Carlson golfs it. Kuznetsov spins. Takes it to the middle. 4-on-4 play here. His pass leapfrogs the blade of Fair. Rennie Bourque for the Canadiens. Drops it back off to Subban. 90 seconds to go in overtime. Bourque. 2-on-2. Stick check from the blind side. Kuznetsov got it. Niskanen to a turning Ovechkin. Racing into the zone. Ovechkin fires. That was blocked by the shins of Beaulieu. And then Ovechkin's relay winds up off of the rink. Face off to stay inside.
Schmidt with a great chance sneaking in. Mojo sees him firing in right there. A little reverse on the cycle. There's the shot, but looking like he's trying to kick it up with the right skate. He can see the open net. Good defensive play by Plekanec, making sure he's not able to fidget it to his stick. Burakovsky, Brouwer just rips that baby wide in 4-on-4 hockey.
Ovechkin, Backstrom, Alzner, Niskanen. 4 on ice for Washington. Pacioretty with some get up and go at the line. Desharnais turns. Desharnais swoops in, feeds the front off of the intended target there. It was Andre Markov. Back check by Backstrom. 50 seconds to go in overtime. Gilbert. Markov. Back for Gilbert straight away. No shooting lane. Desharnais turns inside. Desharnais right up the gut of the defense. Lost it. Ovechkin going the other way. This is a 2-on-1 with Backstrom. Ovechkin closing. Settles. Curling drag. He whistled it wide. And then the net taken from its moorings.
What a back check by Tom Gilbert, who got caught. And he's actually the one that caught his body into that far post. But it was a heck of a back check. Gilbert has tremendous speed. He turned that 2-on-1, as you were talking about, Joe, just about into a 2-on-2. Check out far side. He's coming right into the play, going down with Nick Backstrom, actually slides right into that post and forces that face-off to the right of his goaltending.
Orpik and Carlson, Chimera and Ward out there for Washington in the white jerseys. The captain, a sigh of frustration there after missing the target. Chimera to take the draw with 30 seconds to go in overtime. The Caps played in a league-high 21 shootouts last season.
I think they tied San Jose for the most wins. I think they had 10 or 11, right?
10. Plekanec on the go. Jumping up into the rush. Subban behind the back pass. What's he doing along the goal line with 13 seconds left in overtime? Ward goes 2-on-2. Carlson helps. Ward bluffs the slapper. 6 seconds to go. Weaver is there. Loose puck for Chimera. Subban will tie him up, and this game will require the shootout.
Hard-fought game. Sort of back and forth in this whole 65 minutes between Holtby and Tokarski. Real battle between Subban, Ovechkin, and company. A hard-fought game. Everybody around the NHL says this league has turned into a one-goal game. Well, lo and behold, we have it for the season opener for the Caps here at Verizon.
PK Subban has to be running low on fuel. A lot of work for him during that 4-on-4 fray. We played 65 minutes. Orpik and the Caps 1-1 with the visiting Canadiens. Montreal will be at Philadelphia on Saturday, same time that Washington is squaring off with Boston. 1-1 hockey game, as we've been well introduced through the years to Alex Ovechkin, now in his 10th season in the NHL. We throw out some bio information on Brooks Orpik.
Born in San Francisco, California, big rig, 6'2", 219, first rounder by Pittsburgh in 2000, two-time Olympian, 09 Cup championship, won an NCAA with Boston College. He's got a tremendous resume.
The home team decides which will shoot first in the shootout. Barry Trotz says, let's go Nicklas Backstrom in the top of the first. Backstrom against Tokarski, fires and scores!
Slowed down the pace and picked his spot. Notice kids out there, the wrist shot, the most accurate shot. Had a little bit of a snapper at the end, but beats him. Glove side blocker, caps up 1-0 in the shootout.
20-year-old Alex Galchenyuk will be next. Galchenyuk trying on Braden Holtby for size. Weaves in, big head fake to the forehand, he scores.
Well, that's what he's known for, all these moves and shifts side to side. A lot of stick handling and a lot of stick work before he finally put it in past the right side of Braden. Slow down, a pump fake, a head fake. Look at all these coming in, and finally he outweights the goaltender and just slips it past the right pad of Braden Holtby.
22-year-old rookie Yevgeny Kuznetsov is next. 50% in his young NHL career in this exercise. Kuznetsov swoops in on the forehand, fires it wide. He loves that shot, trying to get it right below the blocker.
You know, that's where you just about have to shoot now, Joe. You know, it's no longer going low in the National Hockey League. The goalies cover that lower portion. You have to be 12 to 14 inches up and over their pads on both sides because of the butterfly formation. Just missed that one wide. It looked like he had the goaltender beat.
Desharnais, very good in shootouts. David Desharnais swings in to the backhand, and he scores to give Montreal the lead.
He used a sweep fake there, Joe, over the puck. The Rocket, Rod Langway, used to always do that coming out of his zone. There's the sweep puck, and then he puts it 5-hole on his backhand, and that's the move that freezes the goalie, opens up their legs, moves his stick. The Habs have a 1-goal lead.
Eric Fehr must score here. If he does not, Dustin Tokarski and the Canadiens will win. Fehr glides in. On his forehand, he scores!
Tokarski thought he had it. Hit his pad and ricocheted between his legs, then got through. Here he is waiting, backing up, and there it is. Hits the inside of his right leg, and it rolls over the goal line and hits the back of the mesh.
Capitals need a stop now from Braden Holtby. P.A. Parento can win it here in the bottom of the third for Montreal. Parento with speed picks up the puck at center. P.A. Parento holds, stopped by Holtby.
Fans on their feet here at Verizon Center applauding Braden's catching glove save on P.A. Parento. Catches it, throws it back out. Parento stymied by Braden Holtby.
Alex Ovechkin in the top of the fourth, in his career 30%.
And you know, Barry Trotz has talked to him about shootouts and saying, Alex, if you're going to go, you got to shoot. Cut out all the deeks, and let's see what he does here against Tokarski.
Ovechkin wide. Works in, fires, and Tokarski makes the save.
Yeah, stuck with him, but that was the shot. That's what they want him to do. Get comfortable coming in the shootouts and rip it. Use his shot to his advantage. And here he comes. Forehand, trying to go glove side there. And he shrugs it off and holds his ground against the grade 8.
Plekanec, who had the lone goal in regulation and through overtime for Montreal. Burakovsky made it a 1-1 game. This is Plekanec with a chance to win it in the fourth. Plekanec, head fakes. No! Glove save, Holtby.
Glove to the rescue for Braden, number 70. The fans going crazy here at Verizon Center. Love the goaltending and the patience. There he is backing up. Looked like he had a little bit of room there. Nice snare out of midair.
How about the faith in a 19-year-old? Burakovsky, who tallied the first marker on the night. Now in round 5. Burakovsky, forehand. Pad save, Tokarski.
Tokarski, who comes in with all of, I think, 10 NHL games, Joe, looks very solid. He doesn't bite on any of the moves. Look at how low he gets. He's so focused coming in. He gets low, extends, very confident against the youngster Burakovsky.
Bottom of the 5th, Brendan Gallagher can end the night happily for Montreal here. Gallagher with speed, carving in, forehand, scores! Brendan Gallagher and the Canadiens win it in the shootout.
Shocking the sellout here at Verizon Center in the Capital season opener. Braden Holtby catches a piece of that puck, but Gallagher, enough mustard on it to squirt through the pads. And Braden Holtby and his boys are going to fall 2-1, but they do get a point. Our next game will be Saturday night against the Bees.
For Craig, for Al, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks for your time. It's Saturday, 7 p.m. from TD Garden. Up next, Caps postgame live. Rob Carlin, Alan May, Brent Johnson standing by in the studio. The 40th anniversary celebration. Montreal spoils it. A 2-1 win in the shootout in D.C. Here's Rob Carlin.